Hi, I'm Leslie Shepard.
And I'm Casey Haggerty.
And we were just given a huge opportunity. And Casey's going to tell you a little bit about a trip we just took.
Well, this past summer, Leslie and I won this contest with ABC, and they flew us to New York City to see Kenny Chesney on Good Morning America. And once they flew us up there, we got to hang out in the city for the day. And then when we went to Good Morning America, they took us backstage, and Kenny Chesney met us back there, and he actually invited us to fly back to Nashville with him on his private jet. So we got to ride with him and hang out with him for a couple hours. And then that night when we got back, he actually took us to the CMA Music Festival, and at the end of his show, we were backstage watching. He actually called us out on stage. He said, "Casey and Leslie, come on out." So we came out on stage with them and got to sing with them a little bit. And it was just an incredible opportunity that I know we will never forget. And we just feel really blessed to be able to have been a part of.
At first, we didn't realize why we were given such a great opportunity and why we got to do so many fun things. But now we realize it's so that we can pay it forward and help somebody else. And we got to meet and work with so many great people, and now it's our turn to help somebody else and help their dreams come true. So we would now like to introduce you to the McDougal family. All right, this is Jeffrey. How old are you, Jeffrey?
I am 8 years old.
8 years old. And this is Sean. Sean, how old are you?
I'm 6 years old.
16
years old.
What's your name?
Katie.
Katie, how old are you?
4.
4 years old. And where's Grace?
She's eating.
Here's Grace.
Here's Grace.
Grace, how old are you, Grace?
2.
2.
2. Can you hold your fingers up?
She's like, what?
2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 2.
And this is Diane, the mother of these 4 beautiful children.
Baby, can I have a bite? No.
My name is Greg McDougal, and I have 4 children. My wife and I moved here from Florida and got in the music business and did a lot of neat things, and then we started having children. And our first son was born with a hole in his intestine, and then the doctors said that he was diagnosed with a thing called cystic fibrosis, and priorities changed, and all of a sudden being out on the road playing music, being away from my family, didn't quite fit. So I began doing home repair and remodeling, and my wife and I had a pleasant surprise with a second child just 15 months later. And his name is Sean, and he was also diagnosed. And let me tell you, never does anybody think that lightning strikes twice. And then Katie was also a pleasant surprise. And Katie is not diagnosed. And then Grace was born. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder, and it is where the body does not process sodium. And sodium does an amazing thing in the body. It thins out the mucus in the body, and when that doesn't happen, well, then a thicker, stickier mucus can quite literally gum up the works, primarily in the lungs and in the intestinal tract, the pancreas, sometimes the liver. It can be a rough thing.
These are the percussions that the children get. Grace gets paddled by hand because she's too small for what they call the vest. What this does is it breaks up the mucus away from the lung walls so that they have an easier time of coughing it out.
It's twice a day.
Twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. If they have a cold or if they have a cough or something, you do it throughout the day, like 3 or 4 times, 4 or 5, depending on how sick they are. We used to do this for the boys when they were little also. But as they get older, and it really is, and this is sad to say, it's hard on the back, on our backs, just to be crouched over doing this as often as we have to. And there was a gentleman who invented the vest.
This is the vest that both of the older boys wear 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night, every single day.
And it's basically a vest that they put on, and hoses get hooked to it, and it's air that does the percussions for us. It's a quick burst of air.
They are precious. They are miracles. They are the whole reason why we wake up each morning. So, about a year ago, the doctors told us that we had a major problem. Jeffrey had been in the hospital 3 or 4 times last year with pneumonia, and finally the doctor said there's got to be something that's causing this, and so we figured out that Jeffrey has begun having an allergic reaction to Aspergillus, which is a mold that's everywhere, and especially in a more wet area. And it's a very serious thing. It can lead to a closed up airway. An IgE level, that's the test for this aspergillosis, is normal. Normal is at 200. And Jeffrey, just a year ago, was at 8,000. And that, coupled with cystic fibrosis, is a very serious problem. And we just didn't know what to do. It was very clear right away when the doctors told us this, that we had to put these children, we must put these children in an allergen-free home. A home that is not as susceptible to this mold. I mean, Jeffrey can't be exposed to this mold anymore.
These are the enzymes that the kids take before they eat anything, and we put Grace in applesauce because she's too little to swallow the pills. How many bottles of these do you go through in a week?
I've never counted. I just know that I gotta have a whole bunch. This should get us through the month, I guess. So I guess probably 5 or 6 a week. And just some of their medications here. They do hypertonic saline, nasal sprays. They also have an inhaled treatment of Pulmazine, which helps cut the mucus so that they can breathe better.
And this is one of the breathing treatments that both of the boys do. And Sean does 3 in the morning and 2 at night. So this is one that he's doing. And then Jeffrey also does 2 in the morning and 1 at night.
Because of Jeffrey's issue with mold, he is on steroids right now. He's on prednisone and an antifungal. And hopefully we'll be able to get a house that won't have any mold or any chances of it. And then we can come off of it altogether.
Only thing I knew to do was ask God for an answer, and the answer that I am very clear about was to work with the only thing that I had. And you know, over the years I've written some songs, and so I set about to record 12 songs on a CD, and I have put the CD on a website called ahouseformykids.com, and I'm simply trying my best to sell as many CDs as I possibly can in order to raise the money to build this very special house for my kids. You see, God gave me these 2 hard-working hands when He made me who I am. I build for a living. I do home repair and remodeling. I can build this house. I'm going to build this house. And I could get it done in 2 or 3 years. 3 or 4 years as I got the finances together, but 3 or 4 years could be a detriment to Jeffrey's health and to my other children's health. So we need a solution now.
So that's why we're asking for help. I've grown so close to this family, and the closer I get, the more I realize that they are so deserving of help. We need to get his CD out there. We need people to go to the website, ahouseformykids.com, and buy the CD.
Ever since Leslie and I got to go to New York City to meet Kenny Chesney and ride back in his jet, we realized that you can dream big. We're dreaming even bigger right now and believing that the McDougals can get their allergen-free home and that their dreams will come true too.
So I don't even know exactly who's going to get this video. I don't know who might see it, but I'm just going to have faith that it's going to end up in the right hands, and the people who need to see it are going to be able to help.